What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, just right off the top, John, look, we're going to disagree on this, my dude, but look, it is what it is. Yes, I'm speaking directly to a single individual, you. We're going to disagree on this, but we might find some common ground. You never know. Check this out, y'all. Trump gives Putin new 10 or 12 days deadline to end the war in Ukraine. This is what I love to see from Donald Trump. Do not be weak. Do not capitulate. Do not keep playing these petty games with President Putin. None of those things. Push and push. Be very aggressive and push this guy and force him to the negotiating table. At this point, you know, I said before in a recent video, I think Putin, the way he's seeing it, he's in too deep right now to try to back out of this. He needs some sort of off-ramp. And look, Donald Trump continually tries to give him an off-ramp, and he just refuses to take this thing. Now, I don't know what this is going to lead to. I really, really hope that this doesn't mean that Donald Trump is going to start funding the war in Ukraine. Really hope that's not what that means, but it probably does, to be honest with you. Like I said, John, me and you are not going to agree on this. I don't think we should be funding this war. You think we should? You know, because it funds the military-industrial complex, and some people tend to love the military-industrial complex. But hey, it is what it is, folks. We do love our military-industrial complex in this country, folks. That is for damn sure. Let's get into this right quick. Donald Trump said Monday that Kremlin chief Vladimir Putin has less than 2 weeks to bring an end to his war in Ukraine before the U.S. president hits Russia and its trading partners with up to 100% tariffs. I love the secondary tariffs. This is great, y'all. Like, Donald Trump is putting the maximum amount of pressure on Vladimir Putin. These tariffs are going to decimate the Russian economy. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump also, if you caught my video from this morning, or was it yesterday? I don't know. Go check my video archive, by the way. If you caught that video, I was discussing the EU trade deal that we just signed off on, right? They are investing, I think it was $600 billion in LNG exports from this country. That means, folks, that's $600 billion less dollars that's going to be going to Russia, because currently Russia is the main supplier of natural gas, and Donald Trump signing this deal is undercutting that. So Russia is about to be in a world of hurt. Give the EU trade deal that I was just talking about, these tariffs, the secondary tariffs, and all the sanctions, they're about to be slammed economically, and hopefully it's enough, y'all. I hope it is enough. Let's keep going. A new deadline of about 10 or 12 days from today, Trump said. There's no reason waiting. I want to be generous, but we just don't see any progress being made, he added during remarks to the media after a bilateral meeting with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer at Turnberry in Scotland. I'm disappointed in President Putin, very disappointed at him. So we're going to have to look, and I'm going to reduce that 50 days that I gave him to a lesser number, because I think I already know the answer, Trump told reporters prior to the Starmer meeting. Trump said he would announce the change, probably tonight or tomorrow. Trump issued the 50-day ultimatum to Putin earlier in July, warning that his potential economic penalties against Moscow and its trading partners would be devastating if the conflict wasn't halted by early September. We thought we had that settled numerous times, and then President Putin goes out and starts launching rockets into some city like Kyiv and kills a lot of people in a nursing home or whatever, Trump added on Monday. Former Russian Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev slammed Trump's new deadline as an ultimatum game, saying each new ultimatum is a threat and a step toward war. Hey, don't go shaking that, don't go rattling that cage, my dude. You don't want war with the United States. I'm sure there's a lot of people in this country that would love for the United States to invade Russia, or at least to help out Ukraine. And look, if they keep beating the war drums, Donald Trump is not somebody to play chicken with. I'm not going to lie about that. Like there's that meme out there, Taco, you know, Trump always chickens out. But that's a misnomer, if you will, because Donald Trump never chickens out. So, like, they play that because of his tariff policy. But that's just negotiating. That's just tit for tat, back and forth negotiating. That's not Trump chickening out. All these trade deals that he's been signing proves that outright. Because, hang on just a second, the EU has to pay 15% tariffs, and we don't have to pay any tariffs in that trade deal. As a matter of fact, Trump has held multiple calls with Putin, but made scant progress toward ending the Ukraine war after promising on the 2024 election campaign trail that he would curtail hostilities in one day. Yeah, but we all know what that means. Donald Trump's being a little bit facetious when he says that, a little bit sarcastic. We all know that that's what he means by that, is that he's going to start working on progress. It's not that he's going to go in and push everybody out of the freaking way and say stop fighting, and they're just going to come to a halt. That's ridiculous, and these people are ridiculous for believing that. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. The third round of Ukraine-Russia peace talks last week ended without any agreement on a ceasefire. As attempts to broker a ceasefire fizzle, Trump has begun to voice rare criticism of Putin, calling him crazy and noting that there's a bit of an issue with him in recent weeks as the Kremlin intensifies its shelling of Ukraine. Yeah, that's just funny. What do you mean by that, Politico? Yeah, this is from Politico, by the way. What do you mean by that? Donald Trump has never favored President Putin. You guys in the corporate press think that he does, because when he says something like Putin's a very smart person or he's very aggressive, whatever it may be, you guys believe that Donald Trump is praising Putin. But that's just a statement of fact. You don't become the president, a ruthless president like Putin is, by being stupid. He's a smart guy. He's not an idiot. You can be two things at the same time. You can be an evil scumbag dictator and also very, very smart, and have people tell you that you're smart. Basically, what Donald Trump is trying to telegraph when he says that is we can't play games with these people. They're not stupid, in other words. He can see the fake news. He can see that when you say 51 former intelligence agents say this has all the hallmarks of Russian disinformation, yeah, he's going to know that, no, come on, that's ridiculous. Putin is not an idiot, and Donald Trump saying that Putin is smart is not Donald Trump praising Putin. People are weird, y'all. They really are. The U.S. president, whose administration has temporarily halted some promised munitions for Ukraine, also agreed to sell American weapons to Europe and let countries donate them to Kyiv. Yeah, hey, that's fine with me. They want to buy the weapons? Look, I don't care. We can sell all the weapons we want to Kyiv. I don't give a damn about that. I do not like the unmitigated or unsigned check, if you will, just given here. Here's a blank check. Do with it what you want. And there's no oversight on any of that money. I don't like that at all. I don't like funding war, especially. Look, I get this, okay? If Donald Trump wants to send some weapons over there while peace negotiations are going on as part of those negotiations, look, I get that. I might not like it too much, but I'm not going to say too much about that. Now, what Biden was doing was not trying to talk peace at all. He was not trying to get them to the negotiating table, and he was just sending weapons while calling Putin an evil dictator. Like, how are you going to negotiate with this guy if you're calling him an evil scumbag? Right? Like, that makes absolutely no sense. This is Donald Trump and the art of the deal, the negotiating tactic. You don't go admonishing somebody, needlessly admonishing somebody, and then try to go and negotiate with peace talks, of all things, with that same person. That's the stupidest thing you could do. So Donald Trump knows how to play it right. He can say, look, he's smart, because technically, if the guy's smart, then that's just a statement of fact. It's not praise, but it's not an insult either. These people never made any sense. But getting back to what I was talking about, I really hope Donald Trump does not just start funding this war. Look, impose all the tariffs you want. Impose the mostest sanctions you could ever impose, which I don't know why they keep reducing the sanctions. Why would they do that? Look, I get it. Pressure Putin into the freaking corner. Put him into a corner, economically at least, to where if he tries to come out swinging, violently, in other words, we'll have every single justification to go in and do whatever the hell, right? Whatever we need to. Because if we're just pressuring them economically, proportionality dictates that you don't come out swinging. You don't come out lobbing missiles at somebody. But look, I think Putin is just in this thing too deep and just does not see an off-ramp to any of this. He doesn't want to look weak on the world stage and capitulate to Donald Trump. And look, I get that. I'm trying to see both sides of this thing, right? He doesn't want to capitulate, so it is what it is. He's going to be met with equal and opposite force, though, when it comes to Donald Trump. He could just do whatever he wanted to with Biden, and he knew nothing was going to happen. But not with Donald Trump. And I think he knows that. And I think he's put himself in a bad position here because he's about to get wrecked, y'all. The Russian economy is about to get screwed if all these tariffs go into effect and sanctions and all this. But I think, hopefully, look, I hope he comes to his senses and they go to the negotiating table and work out some sort of ceasefire or something like that. I mean, Donald Trump, they've already had kind of a bit of a ceasefire. Just very, very brief. It was never really totally in place, but it was kind of partially in place. But it is what it is. Hopefully they can get to some sort of deal. And I've rambled on for long enough. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comments section. That's all I got. I want to thank everybody for watching. Y'all don't forget to smash that like button for me and share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. Sign up and become a member. That would be lovely. Y'all do that. But that's all I got. Y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.